Hi, you guys. Eilers-Heffner here. Tough act to follow when Jackie brings it to Pink Power over there with her fancy PowerPoint and amazing visuals and all these great tips and tools to pull from. And it's pretty funny because we were both preparing and I was like, okay, I know what I need to talk about. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if this is the same thing that Jackie's going to talk about? But it's okay. So there might be some overlap, but I think that's fine, because it means that it's important if you have two leaders wanting to talk to you about your life, right? So discipline is just something that has rung out in my head for the last little while here. Discipline, discipline, discipline. In fact, on a call a couple months ago or a month ago when I led a call and I said, well, what is the objection to getting IPA done? Like, what's the tip? Well, the tip is to be disciplined, right? But I wanted to expand on that a little bit more and not just say, well, be disciplined for the sake of being disciplined. We're not asking for people to be disciplined or ourselves to be disciplined for the sake of pure discipline. It's not like if I'm disciplined here, then I'm going to magically have something happen in my life. No. What happens is when we live in a disciplined fashion for specific reasons, then it helps our self-esteem. It builds our self-esteem. It helps those self-disciplined tasks to become habits. So then that's part of our life. That's already just part of us. So that when we do have something challenging, our brain and mind power can be focused on that versus constantly trying to force ourselves to do something that we don't necessarily want to do, right? We're not just asking you to do IPA for the sake of doing IPA. The reason that we do IPA is because it is the proven method. It is the proven task that has helped multiple people, and all of these diamonds become diamonds and reach whatever goal in their business that they're working on. And really it comes down to, if you're not taking those steps, then the consequence or the pain that's involved it's just astronomical. Like that snowballs in a negative fashion. So we all say, well, I want to be able to fit into my jeans. Well, do we really want to fit into our jeans, or do we want to feel good? Do we want to know that when we fit into our jeans, we have more energy to play with our kids, to run up and switch the laundry quicker, to move around and get off of the couch easier, to do things in our daily life over and over and over again that we can do more efficiently because we're in a healthy state, and the measure of that healthy state is fitting into our jeans, right? It really doesn't matter what size our body is, but our health state is very important. And the way God designed our bodies, when we have extra fluff, that is not positive. That's not good. So it's not about being a size 0. Hello. It is about being healthy. And that's why we're here. It's Plexus. We're here for healthy, and we're here for sustainable results. And we're here for healing from the inside out. Like my favorite things to talk about over here. So remembering that the reason, the steps, that task that we're doing or that habit we're trying to form is for a greater purpose and for a long-term thing. You can eat a half a bag of M&Ms, like a giant size bag of M&Ms. You can eat a half a bag and you're not going to automatically gain 10 pounds, and you're not automatically going to not fit into your jeans. Like there's not an immediate consequence to that. But then we think, well, nothing happened when I did it before, and so I'm going to do it again and again and again. And then pretty soon, very quickly, you are feeling the effects of that. And so what if we go the other way and say, you know what, I'm going to eat 4 M&Ms and enjoy them, and that's it. And then I'm going to move on with my life over here. Then you're moving past that pretty much bondage into a bag of M&Ms, right? but you're able to just realize that saying no to the half a bag and saying okay to a couple, or just saying, no, I'm good right now, I don't need that, and moving past that, that is going to compound as well over time. And it's the self-control that we exhibit in those M&M situations that are beneficial to other areas in our life. It's really easy to say, well, I'll just do my IPA tomorrow. And then by Friday, you haven't done any IPA. And then you think on Friday, well, I'll just do all of my IPA on Friday. And then you get an hour into it and you're like, oh my gosh, I've already sent so many messages. Like, what the heck? And it's overwhelming. And it's all these things, right? It's like not doing the dishes every single day. You just don't do the dishes. By Friday, it is a disaster in your kitchen. Like, I cannot even imagine. There's a lot of people that live here. And so that would be such an overwhelming, huge task. But if I can keep things rolling, then it keeps those tasks so much more manageable. And then the discipline of doing the dishes every night before bed means my day is starting so much more smoothly, right? So that is such a huge compound. We're not just asking people to be disciplined. We're not talking about discipline for the sake of discipline, but for looking at the bigger why and purpose down the road. One of the books that I listened to a couple months ago is called How to Keep House While Drowning. So I got it in Audible. I don't know if it's a in print book or not. And I don't even feel like I'm drowning to keep my house. Like, I don't. I choose to put boundaries around how much house cleaning I do, because I have a greater purpose. Like, my 14-year-old can reorganize the books on the bookshelf. If I can get the kids to throw some books on the bookshelf and they're not on the floor and they're not on their nightstands and under their bed, and they're picked up and they're on the bookshelf, like, I'm calling that a win. Now, this is something I've grown into because I'm a perfectionist and I would like it perfect all of the time, but that's not realistic. And it certainly isn't realistic for me to sit here and organize books. Okay. But they're off the floor. They're off the nightstands. They're on the bookshelf. Good. They're where they belong. Someone else can come by and clean them up, or I can set a timer for 4 minutes and do what I can in that 4 minutes and then move on. Right. So there's a lot of household tasks that I choose not to make perfect anymore, because I want to be busy helping you guys. I want to be busy growing in my leadership. I want to be busy recruiting. And so there are tasks that I've consciously put boundaries around and said, that's going to not be my task. That's going to, it doesn't matter. So I don't feel like I'm drowning in my household tasks. However, I thought this book might have some really good tips. And there's a couple that really did stand out to me. She has systems for, like, when you go to clean a room, like a trash pile, a put away pile, and a donation pile, whatever, you guys can listen to it. It's actually very, very quick. The chapters are very, very short. So it's really easy to take in little chunks and implement them. And this is another thing when you go to make changes in your habits or your discipline, how you're being self-disciplined, is to not just like, okay, I'm going to do everything all at once. Like, that's never a good idea, but taking one small chunk and making that change and then implementing the next and the next. So this book is pretty good. So what stood out to me, which I still remember, is that there's like the opening and closing duties of your kitchen or your home. So I really liked that, where she and her husband would have certain tasks that got done every evening. And one of the things that she would do is she would run the dishwasher, regardless of if it was super full or not, if she needed those cups for the kids, like their specific cups, the sippy cups, bottles, whatever it was. And so she would run it every night. And I'm like, you know what? Here I'm over here. Like, I have to make sure every little slot and nook and cranny of my dishwasher is packed before I will run it, because I don't want to waste detergent or water. Right. And then I get where I run out the door to go pick up kids and come home. And now the dishwasher has to be run because it is super full and I forgot to turn it on, and we're eating dinner. And now the dinner dishes have nowhere to go. And now I'm behind. Right. And so that was just this really simple little tip. I'm like, you know what? If I can run this at night when it's like 3/4 of the way full, or run it in the morning after breakfast, like, I'm ahead of the game. And if you have little ones, if you guys have this like busy little household, like little people household, where you need that stuff on a regular basis, just run it. Our dishwashers nowadays are so much more efficient that it's okay. You're not wasting a ton of water. So that stood out. And then just having like, we have this ideal, well, we shouldn't do paper plates, and we need to do bamboo, and don't do this, and everything has to be sustainable, and don't use a straw for the love, and all these pressure that we put on ourselves. But that's not where our pressure should be. If it comes down to either I'm going to eat and it's on a paper plate versus not eating, then you need to eat. If it comes down to a sustainable food, like how it's grown and produced, and you're really passionate about that, but yet if you're in a position where you have to eat and it has to be doable, then you eat. We're not worried about saving the planet when we are having trouble functioning in our daily life. Okay. So I just remember I had little kids not too long ago, and it was very, very, very busy. And some of these tips probably would have saved my mental state a little bit. So just some stuff that stood out in that for me. And you guys can totally check that out. She even talked about at a point in her life where she had a lot of anxiety, and just brushing her teeth was just such a chore. And so she got those little throwaway toothbrushes, the preloaded with toothpaste, and she felt terrible, like, ruining the environment with these little plastic toothbrushes. But hello, like, we have to brush our teeth. Like, that's not okay to not brush your teeth. So we have to figure out systems to help us be functional in the situation that we're in, even if it's less than ideal. So anyway, that's enough on that whole thing, but I did want to touch on that because I think it's important to hear some of these like very practical things too. And what I have done that has always been very successful for me is I have set a schedule. So like Monday, it's clean the first floor, and it's mine and Emmeline's laundry day. Now, of course, if there's, oh my gosh, my son forgot to wash his uniform and now he's at school, but he needs it for the next day. Like, yeah, I'm going to figure out how to wash my kid's uniform. It's not like I'm not over here being a good helper to my family and serving my family well, but I have a schedule so that I don't have to go, okay, which cleaning tasks am I going to work on today? I've literally set a schedule. And then Tuesday, it's like, okay, clean the bathrooms. Wednesday, it's the towels and the sheets. Thursday, it's the whatever. Friday is errand day, laundry or library day with the kids, whatever. I have these schedules, and if something needs to move and get shifted because it's a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment that's been, you have less control over because you have to fit when they can see you, then something shifts or moves or pivots, but it doesn't mean that my whole week is derailed. So my huge encouragement to you is to set a schedule and stick to it for a while. Don't go, well, we did that last week and it all fell apart, so I'm just not going to do it anymore. Like, you have to make a schedule or a change for your household tasks and stick with it for a while before you go and make drastic changes, because otherwise you're just spinning your wheels. And the application to our business with that is that the winning day sheet encompasses everything that we need to be working on as business owners. So if you are doing your IPA, I highly recommend you either print it off or you look at it virtually and you write in your planner each of those categories and get your winning day done, because that is the discipline. Having the discipline to do that is going to definitely move your needle forward. Also along those lines, if you're doing IPA and you're not getting the results that you think you should be getting, if you're not recruiting people, if you're not helping people to also share, if you are not getting engagement in what you're posting or in what you're saying in your personal messages to people, please screenshot stuff and send it in your three-way chats to your sponsor. Get that out there so that you can get feedback. Don't just sit here and spin your wheels on, well, I did the IPA, did the IPA, and you're not getting joins or something. And then as an upline, if you have people working under you, and this is something I am just really learning, you guys, and I'm observing and I'm analyzing, is that when I have people that are sharing and maybe they aren't getting the results that we would like to see, everyone wants to get a join, right? To go, okay, let's look at what you're posting and the time of day. Like, let's look at it a little closer. But also, if I see people posting and see people in the IPA chat and they're not getting joins and I'm not seeing them in the momentum chat, but okay, then I might, as the upline, need to say, hey, send me screenshots, send me what you're sending to people. So don't let those things fall through the cracks. Just be a little more observant to what your downline is doing too, I guess, is the point of that. So I just, oh gosh, this is just so on my heart right now. And I think this goes for more than just us in this business. Like, this is something I wish I could, not wish, because I can. I have a platform, I have my stories, I have my social media, but helping people see that we can be successful no matter what. So successful people are consistently doing what other people do occasionally, right? You know, I show up to the gym every single day. And part of the act of me showing up to the gym every single day is to show, well, 6 days a week, is the discipline of knowing that that's best for my body to move, to show you that I am doing those things and that I'm not just saying, oh, go work out and go move your body, right? But I'm showing you that I'm doing that. And I'm showing you that I'm disciplined in areas of my life to encourage you that you can be disciplined in areas of your life too. Okay. We want to go from hoping things to making them our habits. So when we can focus in, again, I'm not over there cleaning every single corner of my house and keeping my bookshelf spotless. Like, this one's okay because I'm the only one that touches that. My kids aren't allowed in here. But what I want, I'm putting boundaries on certain things so that my focus can be on things that no one else can do. My almost 15-year-old, my 14-year-old cannot send out messages. She can't do my IPA, right? But she can organize a bookshelf. So really thinking about those things is important. And then also sometimes we think that, well, here's my goal. And so I'm going to set this goal and I'm going to do the IPA. And so I'm going to get here. Well, we have to also look at that how a little more difficult. How are we getting to the goal? And this comes down to goal setting that you should be doing with your sponsor, with your upline, is I want to go Ruby by February. And so we look at your points now. Okay, that's going to require like 100 messages a week. Is that something you're willing to put in? Well, no, that's not going to be feasible. Okay, so we have to change those steps to get there or change the timeline, right? But it doesn't mean that we just throw everything out. It just means we're going to adjust. And we want to see how this is all going to work. How we can help people get through these steps. That's important. Then this was really interesting too. A lot of what I'm saying is coming just from me because I'm not even looking at my notes. So when you see me look at my notes, I'm like, oh, okay. So what I was studying was Craig Rochelle. He does a leadership podcast. And so a lot of what he has said has really resonated with me. So I'm trying to put the Elizabeth spin on it and get it out to you. But what I really liked what he said was that our life, and I don't know how he said it, but I'm saying our life and our leadership is the sum total of our habits. And it's just so doable that we can do more when we focus in on more narrowing our tasks, narrowing what we can accomplish and focusing in on that. So, you know, we can do a lot more than we think we can if we keep our distractions low. That's another huge one. And just being disciplined, like setting the timers or, you know, putting your phone in a drawer and going and spending time with your kids and then setting those business hours for your business. So all of this has come up in the Diamonds in December, the first week, about the time management and the time blocking. So I'm definitely not going to repeat all that because that would not be a good use of anyone's time, but definitely there's a lot of truth to that. And then when we think about our goal and we think about, well, okay, I'm being disciplined. Why? You know, backtracking there, but we want to start with who we want to become. So we know that our identity is in the Lord, right? And so if you are struggling with that, reach out to me, reach out to someone that can help you, one of our other leaders here. But also read your Bible, because that is going to help you know whose you are and who you are in him. But we also, because he has created us, has given us who we are. Okay. So these goals of who we want to become. And so thinking about not just, I want to be a diamond, but who do we want to become? And so I just wrote down a couple things. I would encourage you to write a couple down for yourself as well. But I'm a leader who develops leader. I'm a loving and serving wife. I'm an excellent coach. So those are things that will be meaningful across my lifespan and will continue to have a ripple effect, right, from my life. And so having that wrapped up in our goal statement is going to propel us forward. So something to think about, just definitely write them down. And you could even have personal I am statements and business ones. You could do 3 and 3. And they're kind of like positive affirmations, but he had them wrapped up in leadership. That tip came from Craig Groeschel over there. And just a reminder that when we have a more disciplined life, it's going to free up our time and our mind space and our relationship. So my husband and I have a standing date night. So I don't have to worry about, okay, when are we going to hang out? When are we going to have that conversation? When are we going to be able to talk about X, Y, and Z? I know when it is. It's Friday night. I get to write notes. Now, if we have a sporting event or a kid thing, we talk early in the week. Hey, we're going to have to flip flop. We're going to figure this out. But did you see that date night didn't get erased? Date night got moved. So our relationship is stronger and better because we have a set time to talk, which is huge. When we know where we want to work out, what we want to do, get on Pivotal. Okay, I want to start working out. Okay, get on Pivotal for 10 minutes a day. When you know where to go and what to do, and you're not guessing and, okay, let me get on YouTube and find a workout over here. Why are you wasting your time? Set those things ahead of time so that you don't have to be thinking about it. The meal planning, I just did a post on this, think ahead of what you can be making for meals. Use the Pivotal again, even as a framework. Okay, my children are not going to eat eggplant. I'm not going to eat eggplant. Okay, so that won't work, but can I substitute this for something else? Okay, yeah, then that'll work. I can use that recipe. Or, okay, I like what they're saying here. I like this idea of a pasta, blah, blah, blah. I can make my own. So using ideas and frameworks like that, so you're not coming up with everything from ground zero, can be really helpful. And then also, instead of saying yes to everything, we need to say yes to what's most important. And a lot of times, I think, and this is how I was always trying to do for everyone and everything. And, saying yes to all of my kids about all the things that they wanted to do. And my husband, okay, yeah, you want to go to this thing? Okay, let's go. And so then I wasn't taking care of myself, right? And so learning, you know what, tomorrow I will do this craft with you. And today we're going to do this as a family, instead of just being yes, yes, yes all the time, scheduling kind of those special times with each of your children or other people in your life that you need to spend time with or want to spend time with, right? And not letting your time blocks get smushed in the process. So, and we want to also there's people in your life that are going to want to achieve something huge, like being a Plexus Diamond, for the sake of achievement. It is okay to say, I just want to do this to prove to myself that I can. I want to do this because I want to help these people, whoever's coming into my business, to overcome their health challenges and to have and celebrate in the amazingness of that, right? That ripple effect of that. We don't have to have some huge financial goal, and that's the only way that we can be successful doing Plexus. There are many, many reasons that can power our why. A lot of it is financial because finances give us options, but there's also people in your life that are going to enjoy this sense of achievement and that sense of helping people and inspiring people just for the sake of saying, if I can do this, you can do this too. And that's the truth, you guys. Like, when you really look at all of the successful people in Plexus, we're all normal people. We're all hello, did you see this hand poking through here? We're all very normal people that just want what is best for others. And so don't forget that. It's, if I can do this, you can do this. If I can learn to be more disciplined and more organized and more scheduled, then you can too. Okay, you can. So that is what I had for you. I really hope it was helpful, because I did feel a little all over the place. I'm not going to lie. So you guys, okay. And I did not talk too long. Thanks, Jackie, for ending earlier. You gave me extra time.